Welcome to another episode of Why the F Did You Buy This? I'm Wilson, joined by Berg and Toast. What are we reviewing, boys?
Well, this is NECA's The Thing Ultimate Dog Creature.
And it's a pile of parts.
I believe it says 30 parts.
There's even more off screen. So we've been messing with this for 15 minutes.
Oh, it feels longer than that. It's gotta be half hour, dude.
We've been messing with this for close to half an hour.
Holy cow. But it comes with an instruction sheet. And for Form 1, it's pretty nice. So we get base form of a dog. And the dog is, as per typical NECA, very well painted and sculpted. Mm-hmm. Fur details in there. But we can see seam lines here at the front paws, at the tail, and at the scruff of the neck. So all of that articulates, but it also pops off. And we've gotten the head to come off, but we have not gotten the paws or the tail. I think it needs heat, and I didn't want to mess with it further.
And we don't have heat tonight.
But all of this can be swapped out with tentacles per instructions. So yeah, they've got the dog with insect-like things, and we got that far. I can show you that.
Yeah. So that head pops off. Pretty simple. And then you put on your exploding neck piece, and then you stick in your tongue piece, and then you can kind of stick in your articulated chin piece. Right?
Yep.
And somehow these pop off, and then you put on your coat with little squiggly lines of blood and gore, and then you have 6 legs, which Toast will pointed out, are labeled in the package
A1, B1, C1.
But there's no corresponding.
Right. Yes.
So
he can wear the shirt without the insect legs, but I've got 3 on one side, so you know you can see. Spider ant-like, super gross. They are on ball pegs, and each of those have a hinge on it, so they do articulate around. It did take some pressure to get it in there, so just be careful. Yeah. And while I was doing that, Berg was working with the rest of it.
So this is the final form.
We've been calling it the turkey part.
The turkey part. Because that looks like, to me, a turkey with some turkey legs. Happy Thanksgiving. If you celebrate that kind of thing, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is dog head, and there's some great muscles and gore and mouths and stuff, and these are all on ball pegs and can move and articulate.
This is a. I just want to say quickly, when plastic should be shiny, because it's so much more disgusting.
Yeah,
it's just meat parts.
So like this, see, ball peg. So then what we got confused with is that the instructions are in black and white.
Yes.
So when they put all the pieces on top of each other, it just looks like a giant black and white mess. And what we've been able to figure out is that they either A, didn't give you enough ball pegs.
Yes.
Or B, you have to remove all the pieces and hope that the peg stands in the right spot, or heat it up and pull it out, and then you can attach the other pieces. Because currently there are 1, 2, 3, 4 ball pegs, 5, and like this big one can plug into that, but that's not how it's supposed to go. There's a hole there, there's a hole peg that, you know, hole, so you can make it in all kinds of different configurations. I can't figure out what the proper configuration is, because when I'm looking at the picture, it doesn't look like the legs are there, but it kind of looks like the legs are there, so I don't know which turkey leg to remove from the turkey.
Per the picture, I think this is supposed to attach on the back, but there's no additional peg for it. So both ends need a peg, but it should, I think, go like this, basically.
Yeah, this leg, if you pull it off, this fits perfectly
Okay.
right there. But you need to steal that ball peg to ball peg it together. That is hard to do without heat, and we're shockingly we're lazy.
Then I think this one's supposed to attach roughly there.
Right. And then you get tentacle upon tentacle upon
Oh
tentacle.
my god.
Some of those are wired, so they're posable.
Yeah, so they all have little tiny pegs that are hinged. The big one is wired. So it has a little tiny peg, so you can find a little tiny peg and go boop, and then your dog has a giant fucking tentacle. Or you can put it in that, have a giant tentacle. So basically, small pegs go in small pegs, big pegs go in big pegs. You can make it however you want to look. I'm sure if I messed with it and had heat, maybe kind of possibly get it to look what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, there's just so many options, and this one, like, there's a twofer, which also are on pegs, so you can have different tentacles on the twofer.
It's almost like Amazing Yamaguchi with the number of holes and attachments.
Yes. So you can make it however you want it to be gross. And I'm, like I said, I'm sure there is a proper way to do it, but in the 30 plus minutes now, I can't figure out how to properly do it right now.
No. And that's part of the problem with this thing.
I'm just going to say, don't even open the box unless you have an afternoon to spend working on this.
Yeah. But, I mean,
That's
gross.
nasty, dude.
And
it should be, though.
I know.
these pegs also will fit on the wolf body if you wanted to have giant tentacles
Yeah.
instead of legs, because those are the same size.
So, tentacle for legs.
Yeah.
How much was this?
60,
Okay.
65.
How do you feel about that price?
I'm upset by it now.
Yeah, right? For $60, I think they could have put a couple of these pieces together for you.
For $60, they could have probably thrown in a color and a little insert this here.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
effort in the instructions.
Yeah.
I mean, someday in the future, I will assemble this, and I do have the old McFarlane ones, and they will all go with my McCready, and it'll be a thing. But man, this is. I didn't think it would be this hard to put it together.
Neither did
I thought it would be much more.
So I saw it in the box. The box is huge, and it's very impressive. And then we got everything out of the box, and it was just a pile of parts, and it was weird and confusing. And first we had to separate what were dog parts versus final dog. And I think the nice thing is that at the end of it, you could have two complete figures.
And you can customize them to whatever you want.
Right. But it's the instructions where it falls apart.
And this is coming from three guys who have dealt with third-party
Yeah.
Transformers.
Yeah.
So
You don't always get great instructions with those things.
no. And the other thing I'll point out, which annoyed us, is that there is no peg for the skull head. It has to, like,
Just rest.
just sit on the tongue. There's two tongues. I believe there is this tongue.
Is this
and
the other one?
I think this is another tongue. I don't know. Or again, you have to pull apart and steal a peg. But this opening, I don't know how clear that is much bigger than any of the pegs. So I think it is designed just to go.
Just sit in there with the friction force.
Yeah. So, and if you get it back on the tongue far enough, it does just sit there. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
This is a first for me.
I feel like we should be smarter than this toy. But I think the toy is smarter than me.
I think we roughly have it if we just could unsocket some of these ball pegs.
Yeah.
And plug them in where we wanted.
Yes. But yeah, it can get there. It's going to be great. It's just don't open. The old rule used to be you couldn't open a toy the night we were going to play with it and review it.
And that's why.
Yeah. But hey, phenomenal paint, great sculpt again. It is gross as fuck. Part of the problem is I don't want to be touching it. Because you've seen the movie Teeth? Wilson has.
Yeah.
I think there might be something weird going on inside.
There's articulation everywhere.
Like double jointed, if you want to call this an elbow joint there. Even finger articulation, Wilson finger articulation.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just,
Those could be toes, you don't know.
they could be toes. I don't know.
Well, let's rate this thing then.
I'm going to broadly recommend it. If this is something you want, then go ahead and get it. Just hopefully you watched this video before you bought it so that you know what you're getting into. Because if you're going in blind like we did, good luck.
Fuck.
You're not going to give it a rating?
No, he's not. You want to go? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this thing is worth it. Not worth the hassle, not worth the money. They could have put it together for you a little bit more. I understand you want the customization, but put it together, maybe the main chunk the way it's supposed to be, and let me take it apart and then mess with it. I can understand having to put the spider legs on, but other than that, yeah, this thing's getting a 2.5 out of 5. It's great paint and stuff, but I do not think it is worth $60 for the frustration.
Hashtag it's not fine.
Yeah, it is not fine.
Fuck. Did you come up with the score yet? Soft recommend.
So I'm leaning 4, which is funny after Wilson gave it a 2.5. I think it's not.
Okay, so
The paint and sculpt in typical NECA fashion is there. It's just the final execution, the final bit is what's missing. And at a minimum, you need heat.
Yeah. That's kind of ridiculous. I mean, and without it, you don't have a toy. Like,
Right.
you have parts.
Yes.
yeah, this is after McCready throws his grenade or
Okay.
the TNT and it explodes.
Fuck you too!
So did you give it a 4-ish?
4-ish.
Oh man. Sketch Night John, we need a tentacle 4. It's like kind of mutating into a 3. So I'll be what's the word I'm looking for? Objective here. It is a 5 out of 5 on the paint. It is a 5 out of 5 out of the articulation. 5 out of 5 on the sculpt. 5 out of 5 on the idea. It is a 1 out of 5 if you expect me to be able to figure this out. The instructions are a fail for me. They're not even a 1. They can't even do the 1 foot test. Yeah, it's too expensive. I get why it's so expensive because it is like 30 pieces or whatever, super sculpted, super paint, and it's more than 30 pieces. It's like 30 articulated pieces, but like, yes, but it shouldn't be this hard to put together. Customization is great, but like Wilson said, let me pull it apart first. But its packaging would have been impossible. Oh, I don't care. Figure it out. This is there's a step missing here, and I feel part of me feels like there are pegs missing here, or that they should have just given you more pegs or something.
Well, at one point I went to check the packaging just to see if there were separately packaged pegs, because I do feel like there's missing.
Otherwise, there will always be pieces not in use, and major pieces. Like, to put on all the pieces on this, you have to take these turkey legs off, and then they just are not going to be used because they don't plug in anywhere.
Right.
Which seems weird to me.
Yeah. This whole thing is weird.
So maybe you got extra pegs. Maybe I just got the lemon of the group. I don't know. But overall, I'm gonna give it a soft 4.
Okay.
Because it looks great. It will be great. Maybe I'll film a video once I've got it together and on a shelf and like, I took some beers and it actually took me 10 minutes and it was just because I was cold. I don't know. But yeah, what do you think? Did you get this? Are you dumb like me? I don't know. Are you poor like me now? Yeah, I bought 180 fucking toys this year. And there's still a month left. God damn.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe.
Everything's in the show notes. Don't forget we have our newly returned Patreon. If you want to help support us, figure out this thing. I mean, or do you want to pay us to not make more episodes? I'll accept that. Shout out to Winston for
our newest
patron. Yeah, thanks, Winston. And shout out to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving weeks after it happens, whenever this airs.
I'm hoping it's Monday.
Oh, fantastic.